One question that we get often is whether or not they should put ridge vent in. A lot of times homeowners assume that that's because what their neighbors have done, or the 3 other roofing contractor salespeople that have come out told them they were going to install ridge vent, that's exactly what they need. But that's not always the case. In some cases, ridge vent can be detrimental. In order for the attic to ventilate properly, you need fresh air to come in through the intake ventilation, so usually the soffit, so that it can exhaust out through the ridge or your box vents and keep constant circulation. There's no better insulation than constant air movement. Also, keeping the attic space as close to the outside temperature as possible. What happens is, if you don't have fresh air coming in through the soffit and you have a ridge vent, you'll have warm air from the house that'll make its way inside wall cavities and get into the attic, and it'll create a warmer air environment in there. And then in the winter time, in like the climate that we live in, you have a ridge vent. So I'm out here out in the country right now, so you get this driven wind, and in the winter time that cold air will go in through the ridge and contact the warm air, creating moisture. And in some cases we've seen some awful mold and moisture issues that the homeowner originally thought was the roof leaking, but it wasn't. It was a ventilation issue. So one thing to check to see if you're a good candidate for a ridge vent would be, we're lucky in this case, we have the soffit off because we're replacing all the siding, the soffit, the fascia, and we've already done the roof. So in this case, you see those white foam baffles, and there's a gap right up top. And you can see just below that there's fiberglass insulation that's smushed up against it. And the purpose of those baffles is so that when you do have that insulation, it prevents that insulation from blocking air from being able to get in through the soffit and into the attic. So if you have these baffles, they're not always going to be the same color. They'll be slightly different shapes. Sometimes you'll see accordion style, but baffles are great. And those tell you, hey, I'm a good candidate for a ridge vent.